Good evening and welcome to Slam the Gavel, the show that tells it all regarding family court, criminal court, and other court issues, as well as CPS. I am your host, Maryann Petri. You can find me, my books, and blogs on dismantlingfamilycourtcorruption.com. You can find them on audio as well through Amazon. And I have a brand new guest. I'm honored to have Cory Dunn on, and he has been a victim of the Luzerne County Kids for Cash scandal. And he was 16 in June of 2004 when he got into a fight in the school bathroom. It wasn't serious, it was just a scuffle. However, it landed him in front of the boogeyman, Judge Mark Ciavarella, who was already notorious among all the kids in Luzerne County. Now, when his lawyer tried to explain the situation, Judge Ciavarella cut him off and said, "Shut your mouth," in quotes. The lawyer was stunned, and his friends were also stunned as well. And none of them understood how quickly their lives were going to change in a matter of seconds. The result was adjudication and detention. Cory spent a month at Camp Adams, then PACC, maximum security, isolation, roaches, and being trapped in a chair. The trauma started there and it never has really left him. Now it's we go into December 2016. His wife Samantha and Cory were raising their daughters, 19 months and 9 months. And somehow the little girl fell while Cory was using the bathroom, and suddenly parents are dangerous. Welcome, Cory. I'm so honored to have you on. We got a lot to talk about. You know, everyone's interested also in this Luzerne County scandal. You know,
Oh yes. Um, like Chivarella as a kid, we were all told like if you went in front of any of the other judges, you might have a chance. But if you went in front of Chivarella, you were told you're not coming back out of that courthouse. You're going away. And like as I was waiting in the courthouse, we're waiting to go up. The person in front of me, Judge Chivarella, asked this kid, and it gives me goosebumps because he asked this kid, "How many buttons are on your shirt?" And that kid looked down. He answered 8. And Judge Chivarella smacked his gavel and said, "Adjudicated 8 months, you're gone." And then called my name and my friends' names. And I was just like,
oh,
oh my God, this is not what my lawyer said it was going to be.
oh, that is nuts. And for him to even yell at your lawyer and telling him to shut up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And going to my lawyer to prepare for court and everything, and then you go in and your lawyer's just like, just stay calm, remain
mhm,
calm,
mhm.
no matter what, just let me talk. And as soon as he was like, "I'm here to represent Mr. Dunn," just shut your mouth real loud. And
Oh,
like I knew, okay, here we go, we're
oh
going to
my
jail. We're
God.
going to jail over a fight in school, and this is awesome. Like this is going to be, this is great. This is going to be the greatest 16th birthday summer ever, you know?
Oh, I'm so sorry. God is watching and God will deal with him as, he has dealt with my judge. I think I told you that story. But
Oh, yes.
so, you know, you got out of there and
When I went to jail for that, um, myself and my mother had reached out to MTV. They were doing a show called Trailer Fabulous. And
okay.
I was supposed to be on that show with my brother, and they were going to come and they were going to do the everything. And they ended up coming, but because I went to jail, they made it seem like my brother was the only child for the
Oh,
TV show. They made like no mention of me, nothing
oh,
whatsoever. So like I even missed out on that. But
Oh,
then with the 2007, like the I set my 9 month old on the ground. I ran to go to the bathroom. My foot was all busted up. I was on Percocets, but I wouldn't take one because I was watching the babies, you
right.
know? And like I went down the bathroom and I heard a bang and I'm running out the bathroom and I slammed my foot off the wall and I'm like screaming coming down the hallway and I get to the baby, I pick her up. She's only like red. Like
Mm.
I'm like comforting her. I still had her bottle over by the one nightstand in the living room. I picked it up. She took her bottle. I was like, okay, she's taking her bottle. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't on top of her. It was right next to her. So I didn't think it hit her. I thought it scared her.
Mm-hmm.
Then about an hour and 45 minutes later, my wife got home from work and she took the baby and like realized that she wasn't going to bed. She wouldn't go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
So she went into the bathroom because I was in the living room and I had like all the lights down. I only had like I think it was dinosaur train or something on for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And like she noticed that there was a bruise right here about the size of a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, okay, now we got to take her to the hospital because now there's an actual injury, and we took her to the hospital that night. My mother took the 19-month-old daughter so that we could take the 9 month old to the hospital. She spent on my chest the entire 6 to 8 hours. The doctors at the end said, not child abuse. Sir, please don't ever leave her on the floor alone again and have a good day. We went home. I was like, I need at least a few hours of sleep. My wife said, okay. I went to lay in the bed and she took the 9 month old up to go see her mother. And when she took her up to go see her mother hates me and was like, oh no, this was child abuse. He did this. We're
Oh,
taking him to your pediatrician right now, and they're doing every test possible and blah, blah, blah. And that's how children and youth got involved.
I'm
And
so
it was just
sorry.
one accusation that snowballed into 7 years of fighting in court to get my children back.
And you're doing this as a pro se litigant.
Oh, yes. Now I am. Back then, I had a lawyer, but in the end, you find out that the arresting officer and the judge and some guy from Children, Youth, and him all go play golf together, you know?
Mm.
And it's like, excuse me, you're going to do what this weekend? Oh, I'm going to play golf with him.
Yeah,
Like,
and they
that's
talk about it openly in
officer.
court.
Yeah. And it's like, you were telling me he's such a scumbag, but you're going to go play golf with him?
Oh,
Like, I don't get it.
no.
Or representing pro se, like everybody else's lawyer gets to go in the back and gets that 5-10 minutes, to talk their bull crap with the judge before the hearing even starts. But because you're pro se, they don't let you in the back, and you don't get to hear any of the lies that are being spread about you.
See, I've always wondered about that because when I saw, the opposing counsel go back there, I thought I should follow him, you know, and see what happens. I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't at least attempt to go in there.
Oh, I'm terrified too because like here
Really?
they'll find any reason to try to get you in trouble. So
Hmm.
like you never know. They'll try and say, we're here to talk about a different case or something like that.
True. True. Oh, so, now your mother-in-law, I'm sorry she hates you because I've talked to you on the phone and you're just a great guy.
Yeah. Like, and all my friends that knew me when all this happened were like, he will literally die for his or anybody else's children. That's the furthest thing that he would ever do to somebody. And like the charges originally were, I I at 420 pounds punched this 9 month old baby in the face. Then within a month, that charge changed to I put her in a two-handed stranglehold. And then within another 30 days, the final charge was I put her in a one-arm headlock and squeezed her like that. But she went to Danville. She had every test for shaken baby syndrome, broken bones, MRIs, EKG, everything you could think of, and nothing was wrong with her. Not a single thing. But in their medical records, which they don't know that I have from those appointments, it said spontaneous ecchymosis, which means spontaneous bruising.
Mm-hmm.
Within 2 weeks of us bringing that up, that spontaneous ecchymosis disappeared from Geisinger's medical records.
Interesting.
I have the before and the after file.
Do you think OCY removed it?
I
Or
absolutely do. I believe that they changed, and that's what scares me now about them wanting records, because you know what happened with that, like the alleged SA that happened while in children and youth custody. And like, why are you pushing so hard for this little girl's medical records on a case that you refuse to give ruling on? Are you trying to again modify medical records?
and that's fraud upon the court.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that
And it's
is,
scary.
yes,
It's
it is.
scary as hell.
So they're altering the physician's records.
Yes, that's exactly what we seen happen.
Oh,
Because we found it, we brought it up, and within 8 days, exactly 8 days, it was no longer on that record anymore.
well, it's great you got the records the first time. So you moved
Oh,
pretty fast to get copies of that.
yep. And then we'd bring it up to my lawyer at the time, and he'd be like, "This isn't a play we need to go with right now. We need to kind of go with the flow and do what they want."
Oh,
And
no.
I, in the end, between me and my mother, he made close to $100,000 off of us.
Oh,
So
geez.
it's like, you know what going with the flow really meant? It meant going with the flow of money into his pocket.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. So he can continue his drinking habit along with the judge.
Probably. Yeah, and playing golf.
Golf. Yeah. I think they drink while they do that as well. I just,
Probably.
this is just terrible. So now, did you get to present the altered physician records at all?
No. We we kept being told back then, these are not evidentiary hearings. And it's like, excuse me, then what is this hearing for? Like, if not for me or the guardian ad litem to present their case.
Mm-hmm.
But as I told you, like the guardian ad litem, we called her up, Mrs. Crispell at the time, and she was like, if I came to every family's house that called me, I would never be able to get any work done. And it's like, what? We brought that up to the lawyer. Like, isn't it her job to at least come out and see that we're not the monsters that they're making us out to be?
Oh,
Because the even craziest part is halfway through when all of this was happening, me and my wife had a son that we made sure not to give my last name, as I said, the Hartman name, my mother's maiden name,
mm-hmm.
because we were told that if he was given my last name, they were taking him from the hospital. So we had my mother write down, we named him my mom's last name, and they never, I missed 8 months until I had a court order that said in front of me that I could be around my children, because they used the bail against me, saying that, oh, you have bail on you that says you can't be around your kids, you can't be around the baby. So I missed 8 months of his life until I got that modified, which was when they played me into the plea deal.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's so scary, because like we fought almost 5 years in and out of family court, in and out, in and out, in and out. It
Oh,
was, you need to go for urinalysis. Even though I was a medical marijuana patient since the day it started, you need to go to urinalysis. Why? Because your THC levels are high. Well, I'm a 400-pound man, and anyone that knows THC can tell you it stores in a fat cell. I'm a walking fat cell. Like, my levels are gonna be high.
Hmm.
No, the judge didn't care. Children, youth didn't care.
They're so
Nobody cared.
stupid.
I had to do drug and alcohol. That was more money in their pocket.
Hmm.
Yep. So it's like, okay, everybody's making their money off of all of this. Now I see what's going on. And now, as soon as they showed up at the door, I was like, listen, I know my rights now. I'm not signing anything for you. I do not wish to have any services. Please leave.
Right.
And the caseworker came back 3 different times in a row. And I'm like, no, you don't have a court order. Leave. And then the his supervisor calls and is like, well, if you just let Mr. Garcia come and just place his eyes on the children, that'll be all we need. The case will be closed. We'll be out of your life again.
Hmm.
So my wife is the one that got that call, and she isn't as tough as I am on them. And she was like, okay. So we set it up to meet at my mother's house next door. The kids were having it's called a non-water balloon water balloon. You take like sponges and you wrap a hair tie around it, and you could just dip it in the bucket and
Yeah.
keep throwing it without wasting a water balloon.
Right.
So they were doing that and playing in the sprinkler. And
Mm.
he comes over, like walking over, like all nonchalant, like he just got off a horse or something.
Oh my
And
God.
like, is like, hey, how you doing? And we're like, good. What's going on? Like, the kids are over there playing.
Yeah.
How's your day going? And he just like stared for a minute. And I was like, do you want to talk to the kids? They're right over there. And he's like, no, I think I've got everything that I need here. I'll get back to my supervisor and you guys have a good day. I'm like,
Huh.
okay. And then this dependency paperwork shows up talking about, we met him on my front porch. We refused to let him speak to the children, but he was allowed to look at them.
Hmm.
And then I told him to get the F off my property. I'm like,
Right.
that isn't what happened. Like, every inch of my property is covered in cameras. And like, I'm going to bring this camera evidence up. And that's why they're like, oh, well, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. And then they started extrajudicial services. So, like I told you, we went to the master's hearing. The master was like, "What are you trying to do here? I want to quash the service."
Hmm.
And she looked at me like, "You look like a hillbilly. How do you even know?" Took a look at the mullet and was like, "How do you know what that is?" And like, I
Mm.
at the public defender, and he looked back at me and is like, he has a question about process of service. And she like stared at him like, what? And I just spoke over him. I said, I have a question about the proper process of service. I received 2 manila envelopes, no postage, no address, no return address, just my and my wife's name on one on one on the other, stuffed in my mailbox. So had I not found this or a porch pirate taken it, I would not have known about this hearing, and you guys would have proceeded on dependency of my children without me even being here. And she like looked at children and youth, and her eyes were like big, like she just saw a car accident or something in front of her. And she is like, so you would rather this be seen in front of a judge? And I'm like, if that's what you're telling me that I have to do,
Hmm.
then that's what I have to do, I guess. And she looked at children and youth and she said, I really like you guys to know that I am recusing myself right now due to conflict, and this matter will never come back in front of me again. And looked back over at me and my wife and is like, you understand what I'm saying? And I said, I know exactly what you're saying. Like, I just smiled, and the public defender was like staring at me, and we left the little master's hearing room, and the public defender comes over to me and is like, dude, I don't understand what you're trying to do here. I don't know if this is like maritime law or what, but I
Hmm.
this is going to work. And I said, well, don't worry, the next hearing, you're going to be switched to standby counsel because I know I have the right to both represent myself and keep you as standby counsel. So you
Hmm.
won't know anything. And he just like looked at me like I just knocked his coffee cup out of his hand or something and walked away. And then I seen the gal coming out and I was like, okay, so let's be nice to the gal. And
Mm.
nice to her. She talked to the kids for a minute. And I said, I have no problem with you ever talking to the kids or coming by, but I don't trust the agency. Like, you got have a good day. Here's our phone numbers. And I believe someone from Children and Youth heard us giving out our phone numbers. Then they gave our phone numbers out to Justice Works, which does family fine meetings out of Hazleton, Pennsylvania. So they called me and I'm like, who are you? They're like, oh,
Hmm.
Children and Youth called us. You have a mandatory family fine meeting to be set up. And I said, I don't have a mandatory anything. Nothing happened at the master's hearing. So there's no anything to that tells you guys that there's a court order saying I need this. And they were like, oh, and hung up on me.
Huh.
So I called them back because I'm like, I need to know the name of this place because now I have to file a God, I filed so much stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Notice of unlawful contact and a notice of extrajudicial something that had to be added into the federal filing. But like, and I had to take that out there to them and tell them, like, listen, like, don't call me unless you
Right.
receive a court order. Stop contacting me. And even they were like, what is this? Like, no, I'm coming at all these people federally because I don't trust the state. I
Oh,
believe the state is
exactly.
wholly complicit.
And this was called Justice Works.
Yeah, Justice Works Youth Care.
Oh, that's scary. That alone sounds scary to me.
Yeah, like that it sounds like a juvenile detention or something.
Hmm.
And like the fact of how quick she hung up, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. We need information on that.
Right.
And like I literally just had to take, I think it was Thursday, I had to take and give them they tried to send us a family service plan after the master's hearing with no judgment in the master's hearing whatsoever for anything. And I had to appeal that and send them back. It literally said on it, you have 15 days from the date I signed for the certified letter to appeal it, or it goes into effect until February of next year. Stepdaughter's mother was listed on it as her living in this residence. And I've never even spoken a word to this woman in my life. I
Huh.
just know that she's my kid's stepmother. Like, it's like, where do you people even getting any of your information from?
It's always a one-sided interview, is what I'm hearing from a lot of people.
Yeah, the baby's even yelling, yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, so sweet. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, this is bad because they just do this all the time. It was done to me, and I'm hearing this from other parents, and now you.
It's like they look at people and they try to like financially assess them of whether or not they think they have the capabilities to fight them financially.
Hmm.
And they go like, okay, boom, we're going after that one. Because like back in my 2017 case, when the maternal grandmother got children and youth involved, she had friends in children and youth, and the original caseworker
Oh,
and supervisor had me like in an interview room. First, before I even went into the interview room, I said I wanted my mom to come with me as my advocate
right.
because, like I told you about my autism, and they're like, absolutely not happening. So I went in the back and like they start talking to me and they're like, oh, you just need to sign on this paper that you're willing to talk to us. And they're all nice. So I signed the paper, and as soon as I slid it over to him, the supervisor throws down pictures of the bruise on the side of my daughter's face and starts screaming, you effing did this. You effing did this to your kid. We know your family.
Oh,
All the Duns are scumbags.
oh
Your
my
cousin,
God.
your uncles are scumbags. Your brothers and your half brothers and sisters were taken from your dad when they were a kid. And I'm like screaming at them, like, I didn't do shit to my kid. I would
Right.
never. And they're like, see, this is what happens. This is what happens when you get mad. You get angry and then you hurt the baby, huh? You get angry and hurt the baby, huh? And I'm like, interview over. Done. And I walked out. I'm like, Mom, we need a lawyer. They're saying I did this. And I'm
Oh
telling
my
them I
God.
didn't do this. And my mom said to him, what happened back there? And the lady slammed the door in my mom's face
Oh
and
no.
is like, I just need to ask a question. And the Kelly Vaxmonsky supervisor came back again and is like, if you're on the bandwagon of believing your son didn't do this, you're going to go to jail too, and slam the door in my mom's face again. And I was like, Mom, we need a lawyer now. Now. These people are saying I did this, and it just be from there.
So this happened in the OCY office.
Yup.
Boy, they are so unprofessional. I'm telling you, they should just be abolished and have something else put in its place, like the police, maybe. Because
Yeah,
really,
something like some type of social outreach through the police,
right.
or some type of law enforcement oversight within the building that checks they're actually following their own policies.
Oh, no,
Because
these people do what
the
they want.
whole other layer of it is, like I said, my daughter's SA case from when she was in their care, and that case is still open over 446 days later.
Oh,
Children and Youth still has that case listed as open, and it's against their own policy to have it open that long. And then they say, we refuse to find any finding until the district attorney finds a finding. And the district attorney tells you, we don't have enough evidence just yet. The statute of limitations is very long. And we're not saying your daughter wasn't essayed. We're just saying we don't have all the evidence we need right now. We want 110% slam dunk case. And it's like, well, you barely had any evidence to put me in jail.
right. Well, Corey, if this is an SA case, why aren't the police handling it?
We brought in Rice Township because, like, I called within 24 hours of finding out,
Hmm.
and like that 24 hours, me and the wife were like, what do we do? Children Youth is going to get involved. Like, we're terrified. It's, for some reason, we're going to lose the kids again because
Oh,
last time we were like, just listen to Children Youth and we're going to be okay. And nope, it turned
no.
into going to jail, and she's getting charges for being there. And it's like, so what do we do? And then finally I called my therapist and she's like, listen, we need to make a report, Childline. So we called Childline with my therapist on the line. We made the report. Children Youth showed up 24 hours later. Within 3 days of that, she had an appointment at Child Advocacy Center of Wilkes-Barre with a Rice Township police officer supervising the forensic interview. At the end of the interview, the Rice Township, that it had to be switched from Rice Township, where the maternal grandparents lived, to state police, because he would take a friend's house to do the deed.
Mm.
So state police got involved. State police did their investigation. And every time I'd go to the courthouse, try to talk to the DA, they refused to call me. And they'd have this trooper from state police call me and tell me, like, Mr. Dunn, they're telling me to tell you, they're not saying your daughter was not SA'd. They're saying that they want more evidence, that they don't want they don't want to put your daughter on the stand just at this time. But they sent my daughter to an equine therapist who is registered to be able to go on the stand in what's called a tender years hearing and testify on behalf of my daughter, and they won't do that either. So it's like the DA's keeping it in limbo to protect children and youth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they don't want to admit that this happened under their kinship care. Yep. And then when they show up now, they're talking about, we want medical records. We want medical records. Well, why?
Right.
What medically is wrong with my child that you need the medical record? I'll gladly go print thousands of pages of their medical records so you can look at them physically,
Hmm.
but you do not need access into their medical records.
Right. And who knows what they would switch around or take out of those.
Yep, exactly. And it's just terrifying. And the worst part is like my kids understand, like especially the one that was S.A. She would ask, like, how come the police aren't doing anything? These
Oh,
men told me they would kill me. And like now I came out and I was strong like they told me to be, and I told everybody what I was supposed to tell them. And there's these men are still out there whenever they want. And like she won't even play outside without an adult. And that was another part of children use thing. They tried to say that my children have been seen outside alone. My kids will not play outside alone. So, and like I said, everything's on camera. So it's like you guys are even further lying about that because you don't even understand the trauma that you've inflicted on the children that you were supposed to keep safe.
yeah, they don't care about these kids. And your daughter was in a foster care setting when all this happened?
She was with the maternal grandparents for 5 years, and children and youth was going there almost every other month to go like talk to them and make sure they were up to date with their certifications. And we would even blue marks on the inside of her thigh. How is this happening? And they would tell us these people are the best kinship parents we have right now. They get all their certifications done. They let us know about doctor's appointments. You people are grasping at straws to get your children home. And we're like, no, look. And we said, look, we have my wife took a photo, and they're like, oh, you're taking a photo of the inside of her thigh. We're like, yeah, she's at a visit and she's documenting possible abuse. Like,
Hmm.
and then they would try to bring up, oh, you can't take pictures. And I had my lawyer argue, like, the hell out of here. They could take pictures. Her her
Hmm.
her private stuff was covered. It was only a picture of the inside of her thigh, like,
Hmm.
and tried to turn it into something more than that.
Of, of course.
And it's disgusting how they all just lie and like they just fester and help each other. and
So,
and then you have the stories you hear from just being in the county where like
mhm.
unconfirmed, but you hear about um caseworker supposedly left children and youth and committed suicide,
Hmm.
take destroying families anymore. And then a
Mm.
pre the caseworker that when we was dealing with the SA case last year in 2024, she was pregnant. We let her know everything about our case. She's the one that brought it up on her computer and showed us that there were still open cases. And we were like, you should probably leave the county. You don't want to be a part of this. And she quit and left the state because she was like, she heard our story and was like, oh my God, I'm disgusted.
Oh,
And I said to her, I said, maybe it's a blessing. Maybe you coming to be the caseworker and hearing maybe it's a blessing to save your child one day, ma'am.
oh,
I said, run
exactly.
while you can.
Oh, yeah. Flee the state of Pennsylvania. This is not a safe place to raise kids.
Oh no, especially not Luzerne County, because like
Oh my gosh.
even the people at UPS that are helping me print a lot of my stuff are like,
Right.
yeah, finally somebody's gonna get them, lock them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, guys, calm down, breathe, breathe. I gotta file everything before we can just lock people up.
Right. Right.
But and I had a lady call me yesterday. Her son's girlfriend, who's 16, is staying with her. The mother is letting her stay with her. She was whatever it's called when you're kicked out of school.
Okay.
Um, she was
I'm trying
kicked
to
out of
think.
school last week, like
Okay.
permanently. And she called me and she's like, listen, Children Youth is knocking on my door and they want to come in my house. And like, this isn't even my kid. They want to talk to her. Like, and I'm like, you have no legal obligation to let them talk to that child. Like, they need to contact her mother, and her mother
Hmm.
give you permission to let them talk to her, or they need to leave. And as soon as she said, I have Cory Dunn on the phone, and she said the lady turned right around and walked away before I even finished talking. So they know who I am.
Yes, yes, expelled. That's the word I was.
Yeah, expelled. Yep. And I guess she got
Oh,
expelled over a verbal altercation. So why does children and youth come over a verbal altercation in school? If it was that of an issue, wouldn't the police be there?
right.
Like it's neither neglect nor abuse.
Now, I mean,
And as soon as she was like, Cory Dunn is on the phone, she turned around and said, nope.
wow. So now you're advocating, and your case, you have all the kids now, right? You got
Yeah.
everybody.
Yep. We got the girls back. And in that time, like I said, we in who was named Hartman. And then just this year, we had my or children and youth was even involved. I was like, you know what, we're gonna keep the last name Hartman
Hmm.
just in case. And like on paperwork they've sent us recently, they can't decide whether they want to call him Hartman or Dunn. So like they don't even know the full names of the children they're going after. There's
Uh-huh.
they're it is
Yeah,
so weird. Like they I swear they don't know anything.
right. And they get these kids' birthdays wrong too. They got one of my kids' birthdays
Yes.
wrong. It's like, well, you people don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
it's almost like they look people up on like a DMV site or maybe like old birth records through the hospital and like that's how they get names
Hmm.
because we've had middle names wrong on the children. We've
Hmm.
had birthdays wrong. We've had the counties in which they were born in, which they were all born here.
Right.
And it's so crazy. Like, do the littlest molecule of research before you file paperwork on someone's kids, because they put their foot in the lion's den with me, and I'm ready to go round for round. Like you've said, you're looking for people that aren't afraid to tell their story. I will
Hmm.
stand on a mountaintop and scream my story because I feel like I've been chosen to fight the corruption.
I think you were too. I mean, and you're persistent about it as well.
Oh
You,
yeah, as soon as I get something from them within 3 days, I'm filing right back because they I love walking into their building and like, hey, I need to talk to Miss Katrina Galley, the director. Here's her. I need to serve her with this. And like the other day, they're like, you have to serve us and the caseworker and the supervisor. I said, oh, no, no. Service to boss is service to agent. So serving you is serving the caseworker and the supervisor. And she looked at me like, oh boy, he knows what he's talking.
yeah, that's what they do to these pro says. They think we're stupid, but
Mm-hmm.
they're in for a big surprise.
Yep.
So,
Because it's honestly the only way we could take them down anymore.
ah,
It feels like even the public defenders are getting money out of it.
oh, sure they are. Sure they are. And through all of this, how do you feel about your mother-in-law? Is there there's no relationship there?
No, none. Once the SA accusation was made, like I said, there was a court order then that was the girls only would go up there on the weekends. We stopped all of that immediately, and they've never tried to take us back to court or like get us for a violation of court order. So that to me is just like a proof of guilt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you're not going to fight to try to get them back in court, then there's proof of guilt. And the maternal grandmother was were made against him. So I'm going to stay with my husband until you can prove that this happened. And I was like, I don't need proof. A 9-year-old girl little said it to me. That's
Mhm.
that's it.
Right.
That's all the proof I need.
Oh
And I
my
was like,
goodness.
and even them, they don't want to go back up there. We've asked them, would you ever want to have some type of relationship? Not while he's alive. Nope.
Oh
If
wow.
they've said maybe we've tried to talk to Grammy, but with him alive, they don't want.
Yeah. And how can she do that to you at all as a family? She did this to her daughter as well and caused you a lot of stress. Plus, when you're a pro se, this is very stressful.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
right. I just, it's just terrible. Absolutely terrible. And you never saw this coming. You never thought she would do this.
Oh no, because like we would have every now and then we'd go up and for like Thanksgiving and Christmas, we'd go up for Thanksgiving and Christmas and all hang out and um have normal holidays and stuff, and then we'd go to my mom's house the other half of the day, and then it's no, he did this, and like she's Sam's messaging me like, yo, they're telling me either I hurt the baby or you hurt the baby, and my mom keeps saying, you did this, you did this, you did this. I don't know what to do. And then she's calling my mom saying, hey, they're telling me either I put either I signed a safety plan or they're taking the kids right now. And then the next day she's calling saying, hey, now they're saying either I signed this PFA or they're taking the kids right now. And I'm like, and back then I knew nothing. We knew nothing about our rights. So I'm like, sign it, babe. Sign it. If we don't, if we can't talk and it means you still have the kids, sign it.
Oh
Like
my God.
whatever, sign it. And then like I wait and wait and wait to be served on that PFA, and I never get served on that PFA. And then
Hmm.
she PFA court, and they say he was served on this PFA. Boom, and they gave her my house for 3 years. That wasn't even in my name; it was in my mom's name, but that I was renting. So my mother, who was the landlord's home for 3 years in PFA court, and she was like, I don't even want to live there. Like, why do I want to go back there? I don't have the kids. I don't have nothing. All the memories are there, and
Oh,
I'm forced to live in what, a jail cell of memories. And like I was living from hotel to hotel to to with friends, anybody I knew that had security cameras. That way they couldn't say I was somewhere I wasn't because they already did with the PFA. They
hmm.
said I violated the PFA, but I was clearly on camera, and both the police somewhere else at my father's apartment, but the police and children and youth said that I could have climbed out. I at 400 pounds again could have climbed or jumped out of a fourth-story window in Nanacoke, walked to Hanover and back in under 20 minutes, and then somehow jumped back up into the fourth-story window without being on camera.
Right.
And like it's comical. Like now I look at it like it's comical, and all that had to happen to me so that I could be right here and have them
Wow.
buy pantyhose in federal court.
So you've got an open case in federal court.
Yes.
How long has that case been kept alive?
So I started it in I believe it was August 5th was when I received the dependency paperwork, and August 15th is when I filed the federal.
Of this year.
Yep. I did not play around. I first started talking to, I believe you spoke with them before, Gunnar Evers
Mhm.
of Gunning for CPS, as well as Jessica Saxton and
Mhm.
Tana Downing. And just talking to them, they're like, file federally now. Get
Mhm.
federal affidavits in, get a federal case in. It will slow them down and it will put them on point that you know your constitutional rights. And I mean, it honestly worked. Do you want a doctor's appointment?
Well, I won't keep you much longer, but I'm so glad you had the courage to pull yourself through all of this, even from your childhood.
Yeah, it like even as a kid, it was hard because come on, guys, because like I remember when my half brothers were taken from my father, and children and youth then was like, oh no, they're gonna get split up and sent away. And like I never seen them again until I was 18, from 12 until 18. And then you randomly bump into one of your half brothers at like hanging out with friends at a birthday party, and they're like, yo, do you know this kid Dylan? I'm like, wait a minute. Did your last name used to be Dunn? Yes, it did. I'm like, dude, you're my brother, you know? Like, and we tried. I was 22 trying as hard as I could to try to get information on them, to just send them like a Christmas present or something. Like,
Aw.
make sure that like they're okay. And they're like, no, no, your father was a bad man. You're not allowed to talk to them. It's like, what does it matter that what my father was? I'm still their brother and I want to make sure they're okay.
Right, right. Oh my goodness.
And,
Well, I won't keep you. Just hang on, okay? Oh, how do you want to be reached if anyone has any questions for you?
I would probably say audit Luzerne County PA at Gmail.
Okay.
The one
All
that
right.
I've been
Hey, don't jump off. Slam the Gavel's a podcast to help the public understand what really goes on in these courtrooms. I'm your host, Maryann Petri, and you can find me on Spotify, YouTube. Please like and subscribe, Apple iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google, and other platforms. Again, feel free to buy me a coffee to help keep this podcast going. Thank you, Cory Dunn, because you're going to be in my next book.